Do you believe in the power of the connection between humans and animals? What if I told you that a simple dog achieved something even doctors didn't expect? Imagine a 5-month-old baby diagnosed with paralysis, unable to move her arms and legs. Now, imagine that a small gesture from a dog changed everything. In this story, you'll discover how love and animal instinct can transform lives. What this dog did was nothing short of a miracle. Stay until the end to understand how this special bond teaches us about healing, hope, and the invisible connections between us and our animals. If you love inspiring stories and believe that health goes beyond medicine, this story is for you. Mariana and Pedro's home was always full of joy, especially after they adopted a small golden retriever named Thor. His playful and affectionate nature transformed their house. Thor wasn't just a pet, he was family. But no one could have predicted that one day he would do something truly extraordinary. Louisa was born prematurely at just 7 months. From her first days, she faced medical challenges. At 5 months old, she still couldn't move her arms and legs like other babies. Doctors diagnosed her with infant paralysis, breaking Mariana and Pedro's hearts. They did everything they could, ensuring Louisa received the best treatments, but progress was slow. Despite the challenges, she remained a happy baby. Her bright eyes lit up when she heard her mother's voice, and she felt safe in her father's arms. But there was something that comforted her in a unique way: Thor's presence. Whenever he was near, Louisa would relax, as if she could feel his loving energy. One night, after a long day filled with therapy and medical appointments, Mariana put Louisa in her crib. The baby was restless, her tiny eyes filled with exhaustion. She whimpered softly, struggling to find comfort. Nothing seemed to help her fall asleep. As always, Thor lay beside the crib, watching over her like a devoted guardian. He had always stayed close, but that night, something different happened. Mariana and Pedro were in the living room when they heard an unusual sound coming from Louisa's room. It wasn't crying or fussing, it was a sound of joy. Curious and concerned, they rushed in to check. What they saw left them speechless. Thor had gently jumped into the crib and curled up beside Louisa. But the most incredible part came next. He began licking her tiny hands with delicate care. The reaction was immediate. For the first time, Louisa moved her fingers. It was a small movement, but it was real. Mariana and Pedro exchanged astonished glances. With each affectionate lick from Thor, Louisa responded. First, her fingers twitched, then her arms moved slightly. Her bright eyes shone with happiness, and a wide smile spread across her face. It seemed like Thor's gentle touch had awakened something deep inside her, something no medical treatment had been able to do. In the following days, Mariana closely observed the interactions between Thor and Louisa. She noticed something extraordinary. Whenever Thor was near, Louisa responded better than she ever had in her physical therapy sessions. Thor would gently lick her hands and nudge her tiny feet with his nose, as if encouraging her to move. Each time, Louisa reacted. First, her fingers grasped at his fur. Then her arms tried to reach out. The progress was undeniable. Mariana and Pedro shared this incredible development with the doctors, who were amazed. Louisa, who had previously struggled to move, was now attempting to grip Thor's fur. The doctors had no concrete scientific explanation for what was happening. However, they all agreed on one thing: the bond between the baby and the puppy was triggering a positive neurological response. It was as if Thor's unconditional love had awakened something deep within Louisa, something no treatment had been able to do. With each passing day, her strength and movement improved. The little dog had become more than just a companion. He was a vital part of her recovery. The family couldn't believe the transformation unfolding before their eyes. What once seemed impossible was now a beautiful reality. Louisa was healing in a way they never expected. Time passed, and Louisa continued to improve. With the support of her family, doctors, and of course, Thor, she overcame obstacles that once seemed impossible. Every small progress was celebrated with joy. When she turned 1, she took her first steps, Thor right beside her. barking excitedly as if he knew he had played a vital role in her achievement. Louisa's story with Thor touched everyone who heard it. The dog that had been adopted to bring happiness to the home had become so much more. He was her guardian, her healer, and her best friend. As Louisa grew, her bond with Thor only deepened. He became her greatest adventure companion, always by her side as she explored the world. When she learned to hold toys, it was by playing tug-of-war with Thor. When she started crawling, he would walk ahead, encouraging her to follow. It was as if he instinctively knew how to help her grow stronger. Doctors and therapists were amazed at Louisa's progress. What once seemed like a slow and uncertain recovery became a true story of triumph. While science had its explanations, it was impossible to ignore the impact that Thor had on this journey. Mariana and Pedro never stopped feeling grateful for adopting that little puppy, who, without even knowing it, had transformed their daughter's life in a miraculous way. Years passed, and Louisa grew strong and healthy, exceeding all medical expectations. In every family photo, Thor was always by her side, the loyal friend who never stopped believing in her. Perhaps it was just a dog's instinct, or maybe it was something much greater. A pure, unconditional love that changed a destiny forever.